Hey everybody, how are you? It's Jill Lancet. I hope you've been well. Look, I'm going to show you another item in the new mini catalogue. If you're in Australia and you want to look at it in its entirety, you can do that at jilllancet.stampinup.net. That is my online store. And when you first open up, you can scroll down and you'll see the catalogues. You'll see the mini catalogue and you'll see the annual catalogue, and you will save the life of a tree. Well, maybe not one, maybe not a whole tree, but you know what I mean. Anyway, look, I want to show you this fantastic bundle. I haven't got it, but it looks so good to me. And it's going to be one of those winter type stamps. Now, in this bundle, now there's 3 products that come in the bundle, okay? There's one number for the bundle, which will get you all 3 items. To save you going through and putting individual item numbers in, if you put this in, it will give you all 3, plus you will get 10% off. So that's what it's all about, saving a bit of money. So you get this stamp set, Snowy Delights. You get this big snowflake. And you get some gorgeous, gorgeous sentiments. And these little tiny snowflakes here. You get the masks, which will fit, I think, the same design. But you can create more. They're stepped down. And you get these gorgeous dies. How beautiful is that? This one does a big outline. This one does the outline of the stamped image. You can then either use the mask or you can stamp it and colour it yourself. But isn't that gorgeous? That is on page 52 to 53. And I will put the bundle number in the, what do you call it? Description. Crikey. Okay. Let me write a note so I don't forget that. Oh, gosh. Write a note to myself. Put bundle Snowy Delights. I wish I could remember these things, but, I can't. Anyway, look, that's got nothing to do with tonight's card, except that we're doing another Christmas card, but it's a bit of a fun fold one. It's a fairly basic fun fold. Now, if you're really not into fun folds or these complicated folds, this is possibly one of the easiest fun folds in the world. I haven't got a card. I have got a card, but it's so messy because I kept changing things and adding things. So, yeah, to perfect it for you guys, yeah. So we need a tent fold card. Now, I have a tent fold orientation, which is half of your standard card sheet, and it is scored at, in Australia, 14.85. In the US, it is, I believe, 5.5. Now, I've got all this stuff here. Let me just reorganise myself. So we are going to do an additional. Before I score this, I want to show you what we're going to do. So we're going to pop this in here. Now, if you are in a metric country, you want to score this at 8 centimetres. So 8 centimetres. And then at our 14.85, which I've already got scored there. So I would score that. If you were in the US, you would score that at 3 inches and then at 5.5. Okay. So we're going to end up with a tent fold that has 2 folds in the front of the card. So we'll just fold that now. So we'll fold this one. And we will fold this one. Now this is called an easel card, and eventually this will stand up like this, okay? That is our card base. So the front panel has a score and a fold in the, roughly in the middle, or a little bit higher than the center, okay? So that is our card base. Now, I've done an awful lot, guys, because yeah, sometimes I know it's a bit boring to sit here and watch the, you know, the minutiae and all of that sort of stuff. We're using this stamp set again, long time no see. This time I'm going to use this gorgeous little, I want to say llama, could be an alpaca. I'm not even sure what the difference is, but there you go. We're going to use that guy. We're going to use long time no see. And I've got everything almost ready. So I have it set up here. I took the liberty of stamping one set. I've got a stamping platform, and I've used the one stamping platform to stamp all of this, and you'll see how we go as we go along, okay? So I've got my card base. I have, and that is in real red, okay? That is in real red. I've already coloured this. I've got 2 pieces of basic white. Now, if you're in Australia, that is the length of mat 1, and then it is 7 centimetres. So I have 2 of those, okay, 2 of those. And I have 2 shaded spruce, the same length, mat 1 by 8.5 centimetres. Now, if you're in the US, it will be your length of your mat 1, and it will be 3 3/8 of an inch. The basic white will be the length of your mat 1, and it will be 2 3/4 of an inch wide, okay? But you roughly have the same configuration. We need, we need a couple of strips, a couple of scrappy strips. And I've got a piece of basic white and a piece of the real red. I'll pop them up there. Listen, when I've lost them and I'm looking for them, they're up there, all right? Okay, now, I don't want to spoil how this is going to go, but on one piece of the basic white, I have set up here the Merry Christmas and the llama's head. Now, I went to a few pains to make sure that these would match up. Okay, so you might have to fiddle around with that just a little bit. So I've got that in the corner here. I'm going to pop a couple of magnets. Oh, except that I just stuck them together. So we'll pop one there, one there. You might be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that in the tuxedo black, the Memento tuxedo black. Now I'm going to colour this with blends. So we need the tuxedo black so that they're like, this is like water based, and the markers are alcohol based. They generally don't smear if you use the opposite. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up, and good thing about having it on a stamp platform is if it's not 100%, you can go back and stamp it again. But let's just check it out. Now I've got it in the corner. Make sure it's in the corner. And I'm just going to hold that down. I hope you can see that. Let me turn that around. Gosh. Gosh, gosh, gosh. Now you can see his cute little face. How cute is that little guy? I want to say llama, but you know. Okay, so let's have a look at that. I think that's pretty darn good. What do you reckon? So now what I did was I set this up. Where is my, here it is, hang on. I'm just going to give that a wipe. I set this up to fit this onto this stamping platform, and you might have to do a little bit of fiddling around when you're doing this. So now for the rest of his little scarf, I've got to turn it upside down because, yeah, that was the way I could get it sorted on here. So I'm going to pop that magnet there, pop that magnet there, ink this up again with the memento. And let's just have a squizzy. Oh, looks good. Okay, now you might be saying, yeah, but you forgot the rest of his body. Don't worry. I'm going to show you how you can be creative and do a few things. Yeah, when there's a gap like that. I mean, you could leave that like that, but I'm going to colour this now. I've got all of the blends and everything that I need here, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of a few little tricksy tricks. Okay, now I've got dark real red and dark cherry cobbler. I think it's dark cherry cobbler. Let me see. Yeah. So I've got those two colours. I've got light crumb cake, dark crumb cake. I've got light shaded spruce and dark shaded spruce. Okay, now these are the colours that I have chosen to colour in my little llama. Now, whichever way you go, it won't matter whichever way you go, but I like to do the dark colours first. So I'm going to do the stripes on his scarf. Now I'm using the dark cherry cobbler. Look guys, you don't have to do this, but I don't know, colour me, I don't know. But I like to put a bit of the dark just on either side like that. Now I'm going to skip the next one and do it on that one. I'm going to put a line down there because the scarf, that little piece is overlapping. I'm going to skip that one and I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to skip the next one and I'm going to do this one. And that's it for those. Now with the real red, and it's the dark real red, I'm just going to fill that in. Now, if I just go over that, it will blur the lines. It'll give the illusion that that's curving around. I went over that. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry. So we're going to do the same thing with all of these. Now, remember, I think one other time I said turn your piece. It just makes it a whole lot easier. So if I just go over that a few times and it blurs it. Oh, it's beautiful. Colour that little one in there and this little one down here. Look, it's not even real colouring. Well, it is. It is real colouring. And you know what? It reminds me of the hat and the cat in the hat. I always say that wrong. Now I've got my dark shaded spruce. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to do the dark along this end. Just a little bit there. A little bit there. A little bit there. And look, I think the blends are probably the best way to colour these sorts of images in. Now I'm taking the light shaded spruce and I'm doing the same thing as I did with the red. I'm going to do something else with this. I mean, you may not want to do the next part with all, like if you made more than one of these, you may not want to do the next part, but then again you might. Depends how like creative and arty you want to be. Okay. Now I've already done it on the other part, as you've kind of got a little bit of a sneaky peek. Now what I need to do is to decide whether I want that to be red or green, and I think I want that to be red. So I'm going to do the same with the cherry cobbler, but I'm going to just do it on one side. Just going to go down this one side and then fill it in with the dark real red. And yeah, again guys, turn it around, turn the piece around. I mean, if you were doing a few of these, you'd probably have an aching hand by the end. You know, if you were holding your hands in all sorts of weird and wonderful contortionist. Look at that. I'm going to hold it up. Of course I'm going to hold it up. What do you think? It just gives it a bit of shading, gives it the illusion that it might be wrapped around a round object, i.e. his throat. Oh, I needed some petal pink just for his ears. Let me see if it's dark I want. Yeah, dark will do. Just going to pop a bit of petal pink in the inside of his ears. I have no idea if a llama has pink inside their ears. I'm going to, with the dark crumb cake, I'm going to use the fine point for this one. I'm just going to go around his ears. I just think his ears would be dark. And I can't talk and colour at the same time because I have to hold my tongue just the right way, guys. Do you do that? Do you have your tongue poking out, or, you know, hold your mouth a different way? So I'm just going to accentuate some of these lines that the stamp artists have put in there for us. I'm just going around his little body, just like that. And then I'm going to fill this in with the light crumb cake. Again, I'm sorry, I can't talk and colour at the same time. Rightio, look at that. What a gorgeous looking llama. I think I'm going to colour his little snout in the dark crumb cake. I did have a kind of a little peeky peek at a picture of them, and to be honest, they can be all sorts of colours. So yeah, now I'm going to use the light crumb cake, and I'm just going to fill that in. What a cute little guy. Very, very quick. Very quick colouring. And that's why I like to use the broad tip. It does make it go a little bit quicker. Look at that. How gorgeous is he? How cute is he? Now, I've got a couple of things that I'm just going to treat this with. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make his scarf look more like it's knitted. Now, if I show you the colouring that I did on this other part of this, you'll see that I drew over the black lines, and I did it very imperfectly because I wanted it to be imperfect. I want it to look like a knitted scarf, like a fabric. So I've got my Sharpie, and it's just my ordinary everyday Sharpie, and I'm just going over these lines and just making this a bit just not like they're like straight lines, that's all. And you might be wondering why I'm doing this. I don't know. I just felt like doing that, okay? So, the other thing I did that I thought was a bit cute was to actually fill this other part in here, just like that, and pretend that his neck goes down a little bit more. Just like that. Then I can do my other stripes. So I want my cherry cobbler one here and my shaded spruce. Oh no, I did it wrong. I did it wrong. Crikey. You know who's going to care? Nobody. Just like that. Okay. Hang on. Right. Now, the other thing I did was with my Sharpie, just every now and again, I put a little bit of a, like there was a bit of a knot joining the colours of the scarf, if you know what I mean. So we'll do a couple up here. Just like that. It just looks like, I don't know, whimsical. Okay, so we've got these two pieces now. You can pretend I just did all of that while you were watching, okay? So I've got these two shaded spruce pieces. Now, before I do anything else, I thought this would be fun, and I am sure that I am going to, what's the word, bugger this up. I just thought it'd be cute if I just went in like 1/2 centimetre, and I'm just looking at my T-rule there at 1/2 centimetre. You could do this at 1/4 inch. You don't have to do this at all, okay? But I just felt like it needed something like a second layer. So I'm pretty sure that's all the way up. Now, I have the older style Stampin' Right markers, which, by the way, are being phased out. If there's any left, go for it. So I'm just going to draw. I'm going to start off the page and just draw a thin line. Now, I might have to do it a couple of times. I don't know why. I just felt like that had to be done. But anyway, totally optional, guys. Totally optional. So about 1/2 centimetre, probably 1/4 inch. Oops, there we go. And I was going to do it on the other one as well. So I don't know if I've just wrecked this, but you can let me know what you think. If you think this was an unnecessary step. It's like having another layer, only not having a layer, if you know what I mean. You could probably do this with the fine point on your blend as well. But I don't know, it just seemed like it, and I think I buggered it up, but you know what? You live and you learn. Okay, I'm going to glue one onto one of these. And here's my glue. Oops, did I just bump that? Sorry if I did, guys. Just going to glue this on here. And then when we put this together, you're going to see the easiest fun fold that there is. So you want the same border on either side. And Now these might not be exact, so you have to allow for, maybe you might have to trim them off, the top or the bottom or whatever. But yeah, oh, now I've got glue everywhere. Hold your horses, Sonny. Yep. There we go. Oh dear, I could have wrecked that, but you know. Then I'm going to glue this one onto here, and the same deal, the same border, the same option that we might have to trim that. And then we're going to do something else. So you basically want the same border either side. Now let's just give that a bit of a back rub. We'll give this one a bit of a back rub. Right. Now this one is obviously going to go inside, but I just want to check and see that if it needs to be trimmed off. And I think it does. I think it does need just a little bit of trimming. Because we've got the fold in the card, okay? So you just want like, oh gosh, a sliver. Just a sliver. Like that much. We'll check that again. It's just going straight in there. I think another little bit. I think another tiny little bit. I find guillotine's really handy for that sort of trimming. Yeah, that looks so much better. Okay, now I'm going to glue that one inside. And just make sure you've got the same border either side. Let's check that. I've got a crooked eye. I think I've mentioned that before, haven't I? Yep, I think I have. Okay, that looks about right. Now with this one, we're just gluing this panel on this bottom panel only. So what I normally do is I put some glue on here. Now you won't know where, so just pop it in like that, roughly in the center, and then on the back of this you want to go up probably 2/3, and that should find where it needs to be. So you can line this up with the panel in the inside. Let's have a look. Yep, that looks pretty good. That looks good. You don't want this glue oozing out. So you've lined those green stripes up, those red stripes, yeah, sort of, kind of. I think I would probably dispense with those now that I've done them, but I don't know. We could actually do them really rustic in a minute, so we'll see. So I've got a scrap of the basic white. I've got the long time part of this stamp, and I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to give that a bit of a test. Oh, nice. Okay, so I want to put this, hang on, hold the horses, Sonny. All right, I'm not kind of over the top of it, but I hope that is about right. That's good enough. That is good enough for me at this point in time. So what I've done is I've made this scrap is like a 1.5, no, 1.2 1 centimetre, crikey, 1 centimetre or 3/8 of an inch wide. The length is, it doesn't matter because you're going to trim it down. And the real red scrap is 1.5 or 1/2 an inch. So that's going to give you a nice little border just like that. So we're actually going to glue that on there and then we're going to trim it off, okay? So let's just get this happening. I'm going to glue that up there like that to that end. And I've got glue coming out everywhere, guys. Okay, just bear with me for 2 secs. Now these were scraps. You know, don't go and cut up a whole A4 piece for just like a centimetre of cardstock. That's why you keep your scraps. Right, there we go. Now, I think what I'll do is I'll trim this off a bit. I'll give that a second for the glue to set up. You think about that while I just have a quick mouthful. I'm as dry as anything. We're definitely experiencing some gorgeously warmer weather. So I'm going to pop that in there and just trim that off there like that. Then I can roughly trim this off around about the same. Maybe just a bit. Just like that. Look at that. And I've got a bit of a scrap for something else. So yeah, don't throw them out, guys. Now, before I do anything else with this, I want to do some, I want to put some Wink of Stella on our little guy here. Oh, before I do that, I think I'll just go ahead and rustic this up. So I might just put some freehand you know, and I'm deliberately not trying to make this straight, okay? So if you bugger it up, you haven't really buggered it up. You've just given yourself an opportunity to do something arty with it. And it looks great. I think it looks great. Okay, so we'll do this one here. I'll do the 2 inside as well. And you could even do some little, you know, like squiggly lines like that. Okay, let's do this one, as soon as I buggered them up. So you want 3, I'd say. And you might want to just do some little things like that. I mean, we've got that sort of thing happening on the scarf. So, yep. And okay. Now, I want to put some Wink of Stella. What did I do with it? Here it is. I want to put some Wink of Stella on our little llama, our little Lama-Dama-Ding-Dong. Oh, okay, that's just come out everywhere. I just thought I'd give him a bit of sparkle. There he is, look at him. The other thing I wanted to do, look at that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these, she says, wondering what I did with it. Here it is. This is called a glaze pen. And what it does, it leaves like a glaze, like a clear, well, it's not clear, this one's actually black. But just have a practice with it first and get it going. And I just thought I'd do his little eyes. And all it does is make them shine. So it just sort of brings him to life. I hope you can see that shine on his eyes. Now, I want to put some of these gorgeous, these are retired. I think they might be in the Last Chance products. I'm just going to put a couple of these around. Where's my take your pick? Just to sort of tie in the wink of Stella. So I might put a big one here, a small one here. Gosh, where else? Oh, a small one. Put a small one over here. And then these gorgeous glitter. These are new. These coming from the Traditions of Christmas collection. I've got a small red glittery sequin, and I'm going to put that on top of the eye just to draw your eye up. Now, with our gorgeous little fellow, I'm going to pop this long time. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. And this is going to be the thing that holds our card open. Now, I don't know how long we've been going for, guys. But yeah. Let's pop those off. Oops, wrong end. Oops. Take these off. And now this is where you can be creative. You can push this up as high as you like and it will stand up, but you need your little thing here to stop it. So, yeah, I reckon about there. Now I'm just placing that down till I can see it, if it's in the right spot. That looks pretty good to me. So now our easel card will stand up, and I'm going to show you. Let me just get everything off here, guys. I'll talk about this glaze pen. It just makes his little eyes pop. Now, I might need to stand up while I'm doing it. Now, the whole thing is you could actually continue this on this side, put 2 panels on and have his scarf go even longer. I leave that up to you, okay? You can move that down so it's not so long. Let me see what you can see. Can you see the gloss on his eyes? Gosh, I don't know. I can't pick it up in the camera, but you might be able to. We've got a little bit of Wink of Stella going, so he's a bit festive. We've got that. I fixed up those horrible lines that I thought was a good idea at the time. Inside we've got Long Time No See, and he will stand up like that on the mantle, just like that, and be quite an interesting card, especially for those people that you tend not to see a lot of them, and by the simple definition of this, long time no see. And it looks like he's got a really, really long neck. Please, guys, let me know what you think about that. I'm not sure whether I got all of that in the camera then, but yeah, long time no see. I think it's cute. I like doing cutesy things. I don't do enough of them. Look, anyway, thank you so very much for spending a bit of time with me again tonight. You know that I make these videos predominantly for my own entertainment, right? So I'm amusing myself all over the place here, and I'm actually getting some cards out of it as well. But do let me know what you think. Did I save that? Did I wreck it? Let me know in the comments. A thumbs up, subscribe and share. Thank you so much in advance for doing that. I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers. I've been getting lots of new subscribers in the last couple of videos. So that's lovely to see, because it means that you're appreciating what I'm doing. Sorry, I just had to have a drink. Yeah, look, I'm going to leave you here now. Thank you again. Guys, stay safe, stay kind. You know, kindness is everything in this horrible, horrible world. There's some terrible things going on out there. If you can do a little small act of kindness once a day, you know, your soul will be grateful. I'll leave you with it. Hooray for now. Bye.